Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our favorite segment of The Hook. It's the fastest 5 minutes. Jeff, let's get right into it. Derrick Rose looked crazy quick in his return in the preseason last week. Do you think that'll be enough for the Bulls and to carry them past LeBron and the Heat?
I don't. I think it makes them clearly the second best team in that conference in the East, but I don't think it's enough to carry them over the Heat and win a championship.
I think it just depends on the Heat's role players and how they perform, because I think Derrick Rose, and they have a solid defense, and we saw how physical they could get with the Heat. Maybe with a player like Derrick Rose, they could bring him back. I just don't see that happening.
All right, I don't see it either. So, staying in the NBA, Blake Griffin says no more Lob City in LA for the Clippers now that Doc Rivers is head coach. Do you think they can back this talk up, Hoff?
I don't think so. I think they just don't have enough. I think Blake Griffin is the most overrated player in the NBA.
He has no fundamentals.
Zero. I mean, he's a great dunker. I'll give him that.
All athleticism.
Other than Chris Paul, I don't see anybody in the Clippers really pushing them to that next level. A lot of teams in the West got better. Russell Westbrook coming back. The Warriors got better. Obviously, the Houston Rockets.
I think the only thing that gives them a chance to play more fundamental basketball is Doc Rivers. I mean, he's a proven coach. I mean, he put the big three together, made them fundamentally sound, made defense the key on that team. And I think he can do the same in LA with the Clippers and Chris Paul as well. I mean, Chris Paul is Chris Paul, one of the best point guards in the league. So I think there's a shot, but it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we'll be able to tell after the first month of the season or so.
Definitely. Julio Jones is officially out for the year for the Atlanta Falcons, a team that is now 1-4 after being 13-3 last season. Jeff, what went wrong in Atlanta?
Well, what went wrong is Matty Ice and the Falcons could not win the close game. I mean, every game that they've lost, or even the game that they won, has been within a touchdown.
Yeah.
So I think they lost by 6, they lost by a touchdown, and they lost by a field goal or so in the other two losses. So they haven't been able to close.
They got to find a way to put some more points on the board and close teams out early. I mean, they have the firepower. They've shown it. Tony Gonzalez obviously is back. He's playing well. You know, Julio Jones, obviously a big loss, but I think Matt Ryan's a good enough quarterback where you can throw some other guys in there and still be able to produce. So I think that the Falcons, I think they have the ability to find it if they can win those close games.
I mean, with Julio Jones out, I don't think they can. Right. I think it's going to be tough to close without a big receiver right there. Okay. So in college football, a lot of undefeated teams still left out there. Yeah. SEC, teams looking good. Pac-12 teams looking good. Yeah. Oregon, Stanford, and all that. So who do you want to see in the national championship?
I would love to see Alabama go ahead against Oregon, but if it's a team like Clemson or Florida State, especially Clemson's just so much firepower. Sammy Watkins, Taj Boyd, that team is explosive. We saw what they did to Georgia, that SEC defense in the first game of the season. So a team like Clemson or Oregon going against big-time Alabama, I just would love to see that national championship, much better than Bama and Notre Dame.
100% I want to see Alabama in the national championship again. And I think to oppose them, I want to see the Oregon Ducks. I mean, we saw Manziel put up a lot of points with that high-powered offensive A&M, and I think Marcus Mariota and all the other playmakers on Oregon can do the same. Yeah, so I'd like to see that matchup.
Who knows? Maybe A.J. McCarron can get into another shootout, and that would just be great to see.
Absolutely.
Well, the red-hot New Orleans Saints traveled to New England this week to take on Tom Brady and the Patriots. Gronk is out again. What is Tom Brady going to do? Do you think New Orleans pulls it out?
I think New Orleans pulls it out. I mean, I think there's just too many weapons for the Saints, too many weapons for Drew Brees. I mean, Brady had his first game, I think it was in 53 starts, where he didn't score a touchdown pass. I mean, cannot have that against the Saints. And I think he'll bounce back, but I don't think it'll be enough.
All right, yeah, I don't think so either. New Orleans, the Sean Payton coming back has just been huge for this team. Drew Brees, obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the game. He has been. I think they get it done in New England.
Okay, so we got about 10 seconds left. So Matt Schaub, NFL record for a certain number of games straight with a pick six. Do Texans need to consider a change of quarterback?
They do, and I don't know if that quarterback is on their roster now. Maybe they need to go find one in the draft.
I think Schaub's status needs to be game to game as the starter.
Yeah. So. Well, that'll do it for this episode of The Hook. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @_TheHook and tune in on Friday nights at 8 o'clock. That's when we air. Thanks for tuning in. This is The Hook.